Welcome to the All Metal Mode podcast with your host, Michael Hare. Tune in every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern with co-host Gypsy Jules, and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with Matt Hoffman as we talk to guests, discuss metal detectors, equipment, and everything treasure related. Feel free to join in the discussion in the chat room during the show, and please, if you like what you hear, we'd appreciate you taking a moment to hit that like button and share the link with your friends. We hope you enjoy the show. The All Metal Mode podcast starts right now.
Hey everybody, this is Mike here, and you're listening to the All Metal Mode podcast. Matt's not joining us until a little bit later. He is on the road traveling for work, so hopefully we'll hear from him here in just a little bit. Yeah, good times. So tonight's guest is Joey King, and I'm pretty excited about that. I guess I'm excited about all the show. You guys probably get tired of hearing me say the same old thing, but I am excited about this one. I don't know that we've had anybody that's really a Civil War guy on the show, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to this for sure, and to have Joey on. Been talking pre-show with him, and great guy, and looking forward to it. And thank you, Mr. Greg Weems, for hooking us up, and we sure appreciate it. So, how you doing tonight, Joey?
I'm doing great, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Getting it down close to freezing here in Alabama. Probably going to get down in the upper 20s. Rather be out there digging, probably a lot of other people are a lot worse condition than we are, but it's going to be in upper 20s here in Alabama. But we're still able to get out and dig some holes. That's for sure.
Right.
Have you always people up?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I said, them people up north got 2 foot of snow. I know they hate me saying that, but it's good to be in the South.
Right. Matt lives up in northeastern Ohio, and man, every time that guy calls me lately, he's crying and complaining because they've had so much snow and stuff, and it's fun because he can't go too long without metal detector. Man, he starts going stir crazy, and yeah, for sure. So I get that, man. I used to get depressed in the winter. I remember a couple times going out and bringing home dirt clods and having to thaw them out in the garage and stuff so I could pick out what was in there. It gets bad. It gets rough, man. You get to where you do some not stupid stuff, just crazy stuff. Like, why are you going to go out and dig up dirt clods and chisel them out of the ground? Just take them home and thaw them out, and then got a pile of dirt. Been there, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like I said, Matt will be joining us a little bit later, hopefully. I don't know where he's at. He said he's probably going to be 15 minutes to a half an hour late, so we'll get started without him, which is probably for the best.
Man, I need to tighten up.
Mm-hmm. Let me, just checking something here real quick. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good. Okay. So you're in Alabama, and you mostly relic hunt. How'd you get into metal detecting? What drew you to it?
Okay, man. Well, I needed a hobby for one thing, man. I had a bounty hunter that laid around the house forever, and I decided to get out and use it. I went to a school and dug a bunch of trash, and it was hit and miss with it. And I got on the computer and went to got on YouTube, and I typed in metal detecting, and first guy that popped up was Aqua Jigger, you know. Mm-hmm. Well, he had me hooked, man. I always was fascinated with Civil War anyways, but man, with his videos, I don't know, man, they're unbelievable. Some of them are.
Right.
And that's what got me into it, man.
We were talking about him before the show. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I watch his videos when I can, and he's just incredible. I've never talked to him or anything, but he sure seems like a really nice guy. I'd like to try to get him on the show sometime. That's somebody you were asking, you know, who I had on. That's one person I'd like to get on, and I don't think he's done any podcasts, so I need to reach out to him, see if we can get him on. But so what was your first detector?
My first detector after the bounty hunter was a Garrett AT Pro. I still own it. It's my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, to be honest with you, I haven't used much else but my AT Pro. I have a lot of hours behind it. I have a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of confidence in it. I don't have to learn. Well, I always learn something, man, but it's a go-to. I'm personally, man, it's my favorite. I know a lot of people have their own favorites, but it works for me for what I do.
Man, that's good. I mean, our listeners, the listeners will get tired of hearing this, but I think the AT Pro is one of the, I think the AT Pro changed the whole hobby. I mean, until they come out, I think you had to spend a lot more money to get a decent machine, and they really brought the midline price range. I think that's why we're seeing MindLab come out with some more affordable detectors, and Whites and everybody. I mean, everybody kind of scrambling. XP just come out with the ORX that's quite a bit considerably less, and I think that's all because of the AT Pro. Heck of a machine, just a good. I call it the workhorse. It's not complicated. You can't change it. There's not a lot like you can do with it as far as like customizing it and the tones and this and that. But man, it just gets the job done. It gets the job done.
Man, it's you can beat it around, bang it around, and I'm very surprised of how long I've had it, and it's only been in the shop one time. I can't remember what was done to it, but it quit working on me. It was real erratic, and it wouldn't. Ground balancing wasn't helping. Coil change wouldn't help it. Batteries, I did everything, and I finally sent it in, and it was something with a motherboard, I think. Mm-hmm. But they fixed it and sent it back, and it's been killer ever since. I never had problems. While I was gone, I had withdrawals. I didn't have nothing to do. I actually bought another one. I bought another one while it was gone. We're talking 3 weeks turnaround. I couldn't stand it. And I bought another one just to. Now I keep one in my truck, and I keep one in my wife's car.
That's funny. That's the way to do it right there. Yeah, and their customer service is incredible. They're just a good company making good detectors. Have you thought about a Max?
I have, but I just. For what I got, for what it does for me, because comparing the two, I just rather keep what I have and keep on going.
Yeah, Gypsy. I was telling you, Gypsy Jules is my co-host Monday nights, and she just recently became sponsored by Garrett, which is awesome. I think she's so deserving. She's such a great person, heck of a detectorist, and she's a big Garrett fan. And she uses the Max, and she likes it a lot. She's got a Pro, and she's used the Pro and stuff, of course, but she really likes the Max, too. And I know a couple other people who really like the Max, but, I'm just curious. It sounds like it might go a little deeper and stuff, and something to think about down the road, right?
If I upgraded, it wouldn't be something similar like the Max. It would be the DS. No doubt. I would save my money and get the DS or Deus, wherever you're from. People call it different names.
Right.
But, I definitely would.
Greg Weems says you need a racer, too.
Yeah, I bet he does.
I'll tell you, I've got a multi-cruiser, and that's a heck of a detector. And the guys... I don't know if you know this, Joey, but we got a drinking game every time I say the our listeners, every time I say relic machine, because I talk a lot about relic metal detectors and relic huntings, they've got a drinking game, so I guess I got to say relic machine a few times so they can take a shot, is what they're getting at. So, yeah. But no, I think, in my opinion, I think like the I haven't used a Racer 2, but the multi-cruiser, man, that's a heck of a detector.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of good different way. I think that, like we were saying, man, every manufacturer has a good detector or two, or a handful even, and it's what fits you and stuff. But so I'm sorry, I'm kind of wandering around here a little bit, trying to keep an eye on chat. So how long you been detecting?
Well, since 2014, but I've been hard at it probably since 2015.
Okay. Now, I'm guessing the bounty hunter didn't work out for you.
No, man, I got the bounty hunter. I went to schools, went to parks. It wasn't doing it for me. Actually, to be honest with you, it almost made me quit the hobby. I was frustrated, man.
Yeah.
And I said, my wife, she's very supportive. She says, get what you want and give it a good try. Well, I got the AT Pro and I learned the signals from parks and schools, and I wasn't finding anything, that was satisfying me. And I said, I live right here so close to all this action. I got to find just one bullet, one relic. I got to. And, man, I passed by the area where I hunt every day going to work. I said, I'm going to try that. That's a good spot to try. And, man, I pulled in there one day. I had it in my truck. And I decided to pull into this little area. They were doing construction. And I got out. And I got my phone out, and I was doing some overlaying maps and, trying to get exact pinpoint of where I was referenced on the map. And the construction supervisor pulled up, and he says, what you doing, son? And I said, buddy, I'm just looking at maps and trying to get my bearings straight. He says, you metal detecting or looking around for coins? And I said, yes, sir, but I was going to ask first. I promise you, I just wanted to make sure this was where I wanted to try. He said, yeah, knock yourself out. I just making sure nobody was out here trying to look at my equipment, trying to steal something or whatever. I said, no, man, but I promise you I keep my eye open. If I see anybody, I'll run them off just if you give me permission to try it. He said, yeah, knock yourself out. There's been people out here, and they find some stuff, but yeah, go ahead. And let me tell you, man, I was a kid on Christmas morning. I went 10 feet from my Jeep and dug my first bullet. It was amazing, man. Just the feeling of it, man, of accomplishment, man. It was, I still remember it, man. It was, I mean, it's nothing to nobody. It's nothing to people now, but if nobody's ever done one. Holding something that's been part of American struggle back 155 years ago. It's just, Greg knows the feeling. I was there when he dug his first, and it's wonderful, man. Saving history is wonderful, and that was all it took for people. I mean, I was there until they ran me off. It was a construction with D.R. Horton, and as soon as they got to where they needed to be where I was digging, they said, you got to go. And I said, ain't no problem. But, man, it was definitely good times.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm texting with Matt. He's ready for me to call him in. So let's get him. I'm sorry. Greg wanted me to ask, and then Kevin, now tell us about the Cannonball. These guys want you to tell a story about the Cannonball. If we're skipping ahead, just make sure we get to it.
No, man. I'm glad Kevin's listening. Let me tell you something. Kevin and Greg, man, I don't tell them this often, but there's not finer people, man. I love y'all. I really do.
I don't know, man. I talked to Greg a lot. I don't know if I'd put him in there. I'm just kidding. Greg's a great guy. I love Greg. Got to give him a hard time, though.
Well, I joined his Facebook group, and Kevin was part of, and he was local, and I said, "Hey man, we should start digging." We would become a part of a little group that got together and dug a lot of relics. And it was me and him on a Sunday in May. I said, "Man, if you want to go, we'll go." We didn't get together, man. We didn't get together till 11, 12 o'clock, and it was already hot. Well, there was this same subdivision that we were digging by, had a retention pond that was overgrown and had blackberries everywhere, briars. And I said, let's try down in that retention pond. And we went down in there and didn't find nothing but fishing sinkers, pull tabs, and we're digging about everything we could find. And everything that would beat, we dug it. And I had one signal, man, that was choppy one way, nothing the other. And I was still fairly new with AT Pro, and that's why I was digging everything. And it said 6 inches deep. Well, I plugged it. Still nothing. Pinpointer wouldn't even pull up. Well, I took another scoop. Nothing. And I was getting frustrated. Man, I dug a large plug. And if it was anybody else's yard, I probably wouldn't have done it, man. But it was in that retention pond, and I said, I'm going to go and find out what's going on. And I got down a foot, and my pinpointer was beeping, but it wasn't a constant beep. It was how you get close to something with a
right.
coat, and it starts beeping. Yeah, that's what was going on. And Kevin came running over and seeing why I was digging halfway to my elbows in the dirt. And I told him what was going on. And we kept going at it, man, and I got down to probably 2 foot when there was a constant beat with the carrot, and it was a solid thump with my shovel. And I looked at Kevin, he looked at me, and we just started digging around the hole, and man, there was a perfect round ball laying there in the center. And I said, man, I found a cannonball. That's unbelievable. And he used his shovel to pop it out, and he uses, I think it's called a machete. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, Leshy.
Yeah, he has a long blade on his, and we was able to pop it out with it. And man, it was an unbelievable day. It really was. We didn't find nothing all day long with that one cannonball. My wife was 6 months pregnant, and I showed her what I found. I said, "Look, I found a cannonball. It's a live shell." And she was, "We're gonna put that in the Jeep and drive back home. I'm pregnant." She was freaking out. But man, it was one of them days I will never forget, and I'm sure Kevin won't either. Man, it was awesome. I really did. It was one of them days.
How big was it?
Man, I'll be 12-pound Yankee Gorman. Yeah, I'll post a picture on your page after we get off.
Yeah, we'd love that. Matt, you with us now?
It was awesome.
I am with you. Give me a few more minutes, though. I'm trying to get some other things running on my side here.
Okay. Matt texted me on accident. He said, "I'm locked out of my room." I think he just got a room and he's already locked out of it, locked himself out of it. So he'll get back with us. Matt's traveling for work. I think he's in Detroit.
Yeah, I stepped out of my room to look out in the hallway real quick, and the door shut behind me, and I'm like, oh man, my wallet, my starter sitting in the room. So I had to go back down to there and get a new one. So I'll be back in a second, guys.
All right. Hey, Joey, Bill wants to know, I'm sorry, Chatsman, what did you do to preserve the cannonball, and did it need to be drilled?
Yes, it needed to be drilled. It needed to be flushed. There's this guy that's well known here in Alabama. There's probably some listeners that know him. His name's Steve Phillips. He's in Birmingham. But he's got one of the largest private collections of Civil War history in his basement. It's unbelievable. And he's got a remote setup where he drills and flushes the cannonballs and preserves it. And he used electrolysis and Gimpler's rust converter on it, and it turned out real nice. I'm glad to have it as my collection.
Nice, yeah. That's a heck of a find. Love to.
It's one of them things. Yeah, it's one of them things that I cherish forever. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually, I've got a small cannonball. I don't know what it would weigh. It's fit in your hand pretty good. Take up most of your hand, but you can fit it in one hand. And I didn't find it. A guy I used to know went to Virginia I think about every summer to visit his cousin for the summer, and they saw something protruding from a tree. Just there's like a lump on the side of it, a little bit sticking out, and they spent days carving that out of there, and he ended up giving it to me. He wanted me to have it because I loved history and stuff, and I still have it, and that's pretty cool. But that's nothing like finding one. But it was solid. I don't know what it was. I don't know.
Well, they use a solid shot was common also.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it to any relic dealer, they probably can ID it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to know?
Yeah, one of these days I will. I just keep it in a case and look at it from time to time. But I've wondered. Well, it's Bill's saying it sounds like grape shot. I mean, no, it's a few pounds. It's probably. I don't know. It's. I mean, you can hold it in one hand, but you can't wrap your hand around it. I mean, your hands might come. Like I got big hands, it might come halfway up the sides. But
it sounds like a 12-pounder.
Maybe. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'd have to get pictures of it and stuff. I actually don't have it. It's in Ohio. When I moved, my brother's got some of my stuff and some of my cases and stuff. He's into history, and I just left a lot with him. But Greg said, tell me about the Real.
Okay. We were digging. Okay, where we dig at, there the places to go. We usually have to knock on houses that are part of a subdivision to get permission. And what you find in those places is a lot of clad, a lot of modern items mixed in with your Civil War relics. But I was letting some of my friends that was with me, Kevin was there. I was letting them have the bullets, and I was hanging back digging high tones, coin tones, and was digging nothing but clad. And I found, man, when you see silver pop out of the hole, man, your heart just stops. I said that I don't dig much silver, but when it popped out of the hole, I said, man. So my first thought was aluminum, but no, man, that gray color of silver, man, it was silver, and I had, my thoughts were running wild. What is this? And the owners were there too, and I showed it to my friends, and I don't know what it is, and the owners really wasn't interested. And we went out to the Jeep. We were trying to research it because it was, our half real is small. It's smaller than a dime, and it's real thin.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hold. It was hold, and it was worn, and it was real hard to tell what it was. We finally ID'd it, got a date off of it. It's a 1784 half real Mexico mint. And that's going to be one of my favorite coin finds. I'm actually looking at it right now. I have a relic room I'm sitting in talking to you. But yeah, man, it definitely makes your heart stop when you find something like that. But it feeds the fire. You ready to go again?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, man. I've in Ohio, they're not so uncommon, so I found a couple, but it's always a great feeling when you find something like that. When you find one that old. You guys, what's your history? I mean, your history goes back a long ways, right?
Yes, man. We have history that dates back to Spanish colonial 1700s, but coins are hard to find. Buttons are hard to find. Bullets, Civil War bullets, man. I dug 1,000 in a year, 2 years. And
Wow.
it's everybody that is part of groups find buttons more than anything, and we find bullets more than anything. We have people that literally hunt with us to have 5-gallon buckets full.
Oh, wow. Have you found many buttons?
Yeah. I found 3, and 2 from this year.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Actually, I found my... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what buttons are they?
Okay. I found my Eagle coat button. It was the last day of this year, actually. It was a couple weeks ago. And it was just a Yankee General Service. And then I found a cuff button back in July, and I found a cuff button with Kevin, but it fell apart. The ones he found too all fell apart, I believe. But they're real fragile down here. I don't know what it is about it, but they tend to fall apart, the cuff buttons anyway.
That's interesting. I got oh, go ahead.
Kevin found a CMI. It's a military institute button out of Selma, I believe, and it's extremely rare, extremely nice. It's one of the most. It's probably one of the most expensive finds I think I've ever seen that was dug.
Really?
But he found it down. It was an Alabama CMI Alabama button. It was I'm reading the chat. He said that Joey almost passed out when I found that coin. Yeah. But yeah, man, we found some unbelievable stuff. But it's it probably doesn't hold a candle to what some people find, but we do enjoy it.
Yeah, I lost you there. That last sentence you kind of cut out for a second.
That's fine. Oh, we don't find a lot like what other people find, but like coins and large cents. I love to find that. We hadn't. I don't know what it is, but we hadn't. But this year we hope we knock that out. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Let me look who said it. I think it was Ken Guthrie. Yeah, bullets are like large cents up north. It's funny because it's kind of strange to me how certain areas seem to produce different, because you guys, I mean, why don't you have large cents down here like we did up north? I found so many large cents, probably over 200 large cents, and but we don't. Well, and like Matt Hoffman's up in Northeast Ohio, and all my years, and I was in like the southern part of Ohio. All my years of detecting, I have 2 or 3 store card tokens, and Matt's got something like 40. He's been hunting a fraction, about half the time I have been, and but he's found them all up in Northeast Ohio. It's funny how it seems like there's pockets, different states, and then even different parts of the country, and then but even down to small different counties and stuff that there's hot spots for different things. And but yeah, I hear you guys dig a lot of bullets, and up north it's pretty easy to find buttons and large cents, if you know where to look for them. Matt, we got you back yet, buddy?
Yeah, I'm back. I've been listening here, and I was kind of curious. I was thinking, I was like, man, is it because that people have maybe cherry picked all the coins out of a lot of the coins out, or and not so much some of the bullets and other stuff? But it just sounds like there's not a lot of coins down in some of those areas, and then you're finding a lot of cool stuff otherwise. I have yet to still ever find a 2-ring or a 3-ringer bullet. I've never come across one of those.
There was this one spot that me and Kevin dug, and we would dig a drink can or a sardine can at 6 inches and pull 2 bullets out with it. We'll dig a pull tab and dig 2 bullets out with it. the bullets came out with everything we dug. That's how it was down here at one time.
That's amazing. I've got I hunted a field site where a school once stood, and I found a carved infield, and I always thought maybe a kid took it in for show and tell. That's what I always wondered, because that's the only Civil War bullet I've got in Ohio, but it was where an old school was, so I don't know. But I'm wondering. I think it was carved to play chess or something.
It was Confederate. It was Confederate prison camps in Ohio.
Some people are saying that the South was dirt poor. I mean, not really. I mean, there was money in the South. I don't know. I don't know. I wondered, like Texas, man, I don't see silver popping up like it should. But, I don't know that I buy that excuse that it's because the South was poor. I mean, Texas is a little bit later than Alabama and Mississippi and stuff, but you guys had some money. I mean, the South was rich.
My grandfather, he was born in 1937, and I asked him, I said, when you lost your change, how did you feel? There was a lot of money back then. He says, "Oh man, I go back and tear the grass up till I found it." That's one reason why we don't find much. Because he said he spent one time a couple of hours looking for a quarter, dime, or whatever he found that or lost that he was trying to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is something to that. I don't know, but I mean, it's it just makes me wonder sometimes, like what it is, and maybe that's what it is. How's it going, Matt? Did you get back in your room?
Yeah, I made it back to my room, and all is well. Although I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I don't understand why they decided to do away with the audio jack on the iPhone 7 and anything past a 7. That really drives me nuts.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm so used to having an audio jack for like regular heads. So if you want to plug your phone in and charge and use headphones, then you have to switch to like a dual port jack plugged into the body. It's just the most
I gotcha.
idiotic thing in my life. And it's really, I don't know, but that's all right. The dirt was, or you said that the South was dirt poor. Maybe as a metaphor, it was dirt poor in that it doesn't produce a lot of coinage, but in Ohio, the dirt is, we're dirt rich up here, man. Tons of coins. Tons of silver, too.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously you don't see the Civil War stuff like they do in the South and stuff. A little tougher, but it's pretty easy. I mean, it's not hard to go out and find some silvers in Ohio. I mean, you might have to door knock, or you better have a top-of-the-line deep detector to get in the parks and schools and find what others have missed. But man, it's somewhat easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Compared to from what I hear from a lot of other people at other parks, in the South, but then again, I am a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. They find some amazing stuff in places that I don't ever come across either. So it's got its trade-off.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all of it's good, wherever you're at. So have you found many other decent coins?
I found a half real, and I found probably a buffalo nickel, and that's all.
Wow. That's all right, man. You're killing it on good stuff. I'm a relic guy anyhow, so give me the 5-gallon bucket of bullets and relics, and I'll take it.
Greg Weems is on a good coin spot. I don't know if he wants me to tell y'all this, but his exact digging location. Yeah, never mind.
Tell us. Let's all plan a road trip to where Greg's hunting. Let's do it.
Him and Kevin has been digging some good coins here lately. They've been on it. They've dug a lot of silver here the last couple of months.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know. I think I know where that's at, and I think I seen
Yeah.
one of the videos and stuff. Greg's told me so, but I wouldn't tell. That ain't right.
Yeah.
Unless we all planned a trip together, surprised him. About 20 of us show up at his door. Hey, we're ready to go hunting, buddy. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, he's such a nice guy. He'd smile and say, "Let's go." Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good guy.
Greg
Bill said,
is
Greg's about to have a stroke. That's funny. What other relics you hit? You dug up?
A lot. It's a lot of Civil War related stuff. Scabbard tips. A lot of civilian stuff. Hill plates. Toe taps. Artillery shells. Sabots that goes around. Those lead rings that go around artillery shells that grab the rifling of the cannons. Artillery shell fuses, brass shells like from Spencer's, and a lot of it's all Civil War related.
Nice.
And a lot of old home site stuff. Thimbles. I found some thimbles and harmonica pieces, but home sites hadn't been real good to me. Not here lately, but I hadn't had any good permissions. Permissions is key when it comes to home sites. If it's public, it's probably been hunted out.
Yeah.
Ken was asking me to say something again. I cut out.
I didn't hear you cut out, so I'm not sure what he's referring to because I've heard everything.
Yeah, Ken, if you got a question, buddy, just go ahead and ask it. I'll try my best to answer it for you.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ken. I'm not sure what part cut out because I heard everything on my end. But that's awesome. Do you do a lot of research?
Somewhat. During this time of year, I really try my best to, but places I want to go, I already have in my mind where I want to go. Mm-hmm. And I just look for opportunity. I ride by there a lot, and what I should say, man, is steering wheel time is what I do a lot. I ride around, I see a place I like, and I wait for them to get home. I ride by there 3 times until they get home before I ask for permission. Many times it's a no, but you never know until you ask.
I got a question for you Southerners. Do you feel like all the Civil War sites are at least known, even if they're not hunted out, or is there still some stuff hidden or not known about or wasn't written about? And
I believe there's a few skirmishes that are clashes. Skirmishes that's taken place that's not documented, but there's a lot of camps that are undocumented.
Okay.
And I don't think they document them until they're proven to be camps. But a lot of places that's been written down and documented it's been pounded, especially if it's public.
Mm-hmm. I know. Oh, excuse me, guys. Well, that hit me quick. I know Bill Marsh has hunted some of the stuff along from Morgan's Raiders coming into Ohio, but I know a lot of that's still questionable, and I think the routes established and stuff, but like where exactly they were at and some of the rivers and stuff where they crossed and stuff is still not very well known. But I wasn't far from some of that, and I wish I would have spent more time on that researching and hunting some of it down, but pretty neat stories from Morgan from that time period, and I don't know if you know much about it, but
I don't.
John Hunt Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but he come in, he raided Ohio. The whole plan of it was to throw the North off, maybe send some troops north to stop him, to give the South some relief, some of the commanders in the South, and he plundered pretty good. I mean, there's stories that his men would, I mean, they'd just come into a town, they'd burn bridges, plunder any kind of valuables from the townspeople, and burn houses and everything else. And then they would ride so long that there's stories of men were arrested from falling off their horses asleep, and stuff like that. And a lot of the plundered stuff never got returned. People, there's stories of people knowing that they were coming and things were buried. They think some of the Morgan's men actually buried some of it, knowing, thinking they'd come back after the war or whenever. And pretty neat stories. Yeah, Bill's saying.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
I have one piece of advice that some people may not know that I like to share. I'm also a reenactor. We portray both North and South down here, and some of the best research you can do, anybody can do, is go to a reenactment and talk with the reenactors. Them people are very, very sharp with their history.
I bet, yeah.
And if you ask them anything, you would leave there full to the brim with information.
Yeah.
There's people that I've talked to that's known more than anybody that taught me in school. Very smart men.
Wow, Steve said he spent most of my hunting hobby career researching small sites. Luckily, I've found 4 that have lasted me 30 years of hunting. Wow, that's pretty amazing, Steve. That's really cool. And then Bill was they were talking about the inaccuracy of some of the books on Morgan's Raiders. I believe that. I don't think they want you to know exactly where everything's at and give you a rough idea. And I don't think they knew everything. And then things have changed, roads have changed and everything else. But I think, yeah. And he was talking about, he's worked with somebody, David Mowry, which I've never heard of. Bill, you need to see if he'd be interested in coming on. He was saying how he wants to be accurate. I believe he's putting a book together, or maybe he already has and doing another one, Bill. I don't know. I know I've talked with Bill about some of that. My brother owns some property in southern Ohio that supposedly just a few miles north of him is where Morgan's men crossed the Muskingum. Yeah, Bill said he's got a book out already. I thought so. But yeah, and Bill was saying sometimes he's been on hunts where they've been looking for signs of Morgan Raiders. He said usually it just leads to more questions. Pretty neat stuff. Yeah. Pretty neat stuff. I wanted to also say, man, I agree with you on talking to people, and I know you're talking about reenactors and stuff, and I those guys. I think people that take the time to do something like that, they really have a passion for it, and stuff gets passed down and talked to. But I think talking to people that know and finding those people, you're going to get more information than you can ever get out of a book, or even researching. A lot of them guys, even up in Ohio, man, some of those farmers, 4 or 5 generations now. Yeah, Grandpa said there was, his grandpa was in a cabin back here, and this and that, and where the different house sites were and all that, and boy, they're a wealth of information that you often aren't going to find on any map or in any book. So that's pretty neat.
Definitely.
Very cool. What about odd finds? You got any crazy off the wall finds?
Lipstick tubes. Oh man, yeah, I do have one. Believe it or not, I was digging, and this was end of December, and I had a foil cone, and I kicked the leaves away, and it was an unopened Magnum condom. That was one of the most strangest things I found. But
hey, that's better.
Yeah, it was.
That's way better than an open used condom. Ran across a few of those, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. Making me nauseous just thinking about it.
That's tops my most rare, my most unusual finds for sure.
That's funny.
Oh, and I was with Kevin, and me and him and another guy that we used to dig with was in a city park in an urban part of town, and we dug a taser.
Oh, oh that's cool.
I think it was a taser or pepper spray. It was one of the two. I can't remember. Yeah, that was another odd find.
I was metal detecting a fairgrounds once, and just a couple years ago, really, and I was there for old coins. It'd given up a lot of old coins, but the fair just happened, and I'm walking along. You know how you got your head down, you're in the groove, and all of a sudden, man, right at my coil was a used condom, and I'm just like, oh God, man, you talk about ruining the situation. Ruining some detector, man. It was, I don't know about really strange finds I've had, but I'm sure I've come across a few. But that one definitely sticks out. That was no fun. Kevin said it was pepper spray.
Man. Okay. Hey, man, they say take all the trash with you. You know that, right?
Yeah, that got left behind, man. I do take a lot of trash. I'll take trash, but after the fair. There was so much trash I couldn't pick it up, all of it up anyhow, but I sure wasn't picking that up. Nope, no deal. Now, you hunt with Kevin quite a bit?
Yeah, Kevin's one of my old buddies. We've been digging together a couple of years now.
Nice.
Greg just joined us probably within a year and a half, I think.
Yeah, Greg's a good guy. I like, me and Greg have talked quite a bit, and he just got a big heart and loves to get out and metal detect. And yeah, Bill said he'd have left it too. Yeah, that's one find I wasn't keeping, man. I've heard of some weird stuff like gold teeth and different things, and
I wish.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't care if it was. I don't care if it's tooth or not. It's just gold.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. What about you, Matt? You found anything crazy?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I find lots of things crazy.
What's the weirdest thing you found?
I found a guy on his name is, I think it was Mike Hare.
Don't be a jerk. What a jerk.
No, the weirdest thing.
No. Hey, Matt, I didn't say the best thing you ever found. I said the weirdest, craziest.
Okay, pat yourself on the back a few more times. No, the weirdest thing I ever found was, I find a lot of things that are super strange that I still have yet to identify. I'm going to post those one of these days because I got a whole pile of them that they're cool pieces, but God only knows what they are or what they were. But the weirdest thing probably the funniest thing I ever found was it was a coin from a peep show booth from like the 1930s or 40s.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pretty. I pulled it out and I said, "Man, is there a girl on this thing?" And then I'm like, my mind must be in the gutter or something, Brushed it off a little bit more, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll be damned, there is." Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'm curious. Everybody in the room, take a second if you don't mind. Tell me your weirdest find. I'm way curious about that. I'm way curious. Bill Marsh is in chat, and he's been metal detecting a long time. I'm curious. I bet he lives in southern Ohio, like kind of on the verge of like Appalachia, Ohio. I bet there's some weird stuff going on down there. You hear the banjo come out down there, you better run. You better run. And it's probably Bill playing it, sitting on the porch, getting ready to chase you down. He's a big dude. I don't know, we'll see. Matt, you got any questions?
Yeah, what detector are you using?
Oh,
there?
Man, you missed the beginning. Jesus.
Yeah.
I
know.
I got an AT Pro with a stock coil, and I have another Pro with 11x11 tornado coil.
Nice. Do you really like that tornado coil? Good things about this.
That tornado coil, let me tell you, it's heavy, long hunts. You definitely feel it. And I have trouble pinpointing with it. You know, if I pinpoint something that's 6 inches straight down, it's 4 inches to the right, upper right or upper left. And I have to dig large plugs in order to compensate for that. Maybe I just hadn't learned it, but that's what I find I have to do with it. But it does get a good bit deeper than a stock coil. I give it that. I bang around in the bushes, and that bigger coil didn't work for me a lot of times.
Something I find kind of odd. It seems like either people everybody seems to go to the Nell coils for the AT Pro, but it seems like either people love them or they hate them. Or I guess there is some in between, but I've talked to people that will say the Nell coil made their AT Pro. It was like a whole new detector. Then I hear I know guys that have sold them like, I just wasn't impressed. So I don't know. I kind of find that strange. A lot of people just love them, but some just like, it's okay. And others are like, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's funny, Mike. I don't seem to, there's either you love it or you hate it. Seems to be what I've always heard from everybody I've ever asked about that coil. And there seems to be not much in between. Like it's either, oh, I don't like it, or yeah, it's a great coil. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm in between. I'll still use it if I go to a site that I've hit several times and I know targets are deep. We have a lot of sand in this area. And heavy stuff, it gets deep pretty quick. And that Nell coil has helped me a lot, but I don't use it. It's not my go-to. My go-to is I like the stock one, man. It's found so much stuff for me that I can't go wrong without using using something else or different. It's the stock coil with the AT Pro. I learned it, and everybody will switch machines. You have a learning curve. That's probably another reason I haven't bought another machine. But I can turn that thing on, ground balance it, and go, and I have confidence in it. That's important when you have a machine with confidence in it.
Confidence makes a huge difference on a machine. When you're feeling confident, I swear there's days when I'm feeling like, man, I'm gonna kill it, and I'm feeling super confident. I just detect so much better than on days where I'm just not feeling a sight, and it makes a big difference.
Hey, Matt, can you take over for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, take over. I'm sorry, I got to do something real quick.
Yeah, so I asked about the detector itself. I'm curious, what what pinpointer are you using?
I use the Garrett Carrot.
The Garrett Carrot. Now, do you find that the one I had seems like it's just? Don't get me wrong. That thing seems to pick up stuff from 10 miles away. It's got some severe power. It's super strong, but man, I felt like I was constantly going back and forth between, turning the sensitivity up and down and at times, but I don't know. Everybody seems to really love those, and I might be the one person that wasn't the biggest fan of those.
I find that if you ground balance it before you use it, you stick it to the ground and hold the button, that it's a whole lot more accurate and stable than it would be if that's what I found. Actually, it's become a habit. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but as soon as I turn it on, I turn it on.
I'm thinking now, I wonder if I ever did that with mine when I was using it, and I might not ever did that.
Yeah, man, ground balancing your pinpointers, that's something I do every time, and I hadn't had any trouble with it. But I know a lot of people that don't like the Carrot. I really don't know why they don't, but I've never had any problem with mine.
Yeah, I ended up switching to the last year. I pretty much mostly used the MindLab Profine 35, I think it is, which is the one that can discriminate if iron targets down there. But that I had some issues with that right off the bat, but then that quickly became my new favorite pinpointer, and I'm pretty happy with. I mean, it does fall if you get the sensitivity a little too high, but overall I've been real happy with that. And I have another one too, the Fisher F Pulse or whatever they call it, which is a great device as well. Unfortunately, it does not like any of the MindLab stuff. It just makes that thing go bonkers. But there was one day I had my impact out, and I turned it on, and it's literally just going crazy. And I'm going, man, I don't know where all this EMI's coming from, and why is this thing just like jumping off the charts and changing sensitivity settings, and I'm getting more upset by the second. I'm playing with the coil, so I go back to my car, put a different coil, come back out to the house I was at, which I've hunted a million times, and I know there's not ridiculous EMI there. Turn it on, and this thing's just all over the place. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Something's wrong with this thing. Well, here I had that Fisher Pulse pinpointer in my pocket, and the button had got jammed on, and it was sending out some kind of signal that just made that detector go wild. And it literally took me probably a half hour to figure out what the heck was going on. And I finally saw that, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God it's not the detector.
Aqua Tigger has a good video on understanding how to use the Garrett Carrot. If anybody wants to check it out, he shows you how to ground balance it and turn it into a super pinpointer, as he would call it. But I'm not promoting it by any means, but it helped me out a lot to understand how to ground balance it was important.
Yeah, and probably I was so used to the original Garrett pinpointers. Then I used the MindLab one for a long time, and then I switched to the newer MindLab one, and then I bought some other pinpointers, and I tried a few other ones. I tried the Macro Nocta pinpointer and a few other things, and I like the TRX. I tried. There was another one, a Vulcan one that came from Calico or whatever. But some of those I just didn't like. They seemed a little too slow to turn on. But I was okay with the Garrett one, but man, it just seemed to be all over the place. And you're probably right. I don't remember ever really ground balancing that thing, and that probably would have solved a lot of my issues.
What are we talking about? Ground balance what?
Ground balance in the pinpointer. The Garrett Carrot, anyway. There's a ground balance sequence that helps steady it out from interference.
I gotcha.
It's so sensitive, man.
I didn't like that.
I've had it so sensitive it picks up iron levels in the dirt. Yeah, I don't know if there's something down here that we have is different. I'm sorry. Did I step on somebody?
No,
Hello?
Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm here. I was saying, like, I definitely noticed before with that Garrett pinpointer that if you get that sensitivity up there, man, that thing will pick up literally traces of iron that's in the dirt that aren't even detectable. Like you couldn't even find them, but it'll be going crazy on that stuff.
Last time I saw Matt, I stole one of his Garrett Carrots, and I'm not really impressed. I think it's okay, but I still prefer the original Garrett pinpointer. That thing, you turn it on, it does its thing, and you turn it off, and you don't like the Garrett Carrot. A handful of times I've turned it on, and it's like out of whack. It's like too sensitive or not sensitive enough, and then you mess with it. And then I went to turn it off, and I started the whole changing the sensitivity, and I'm just like, dang, man, I miss my regular old Garrett pinpointer. Work good. I don't know. I think I want something simpler.
The carrot's the only thing I've ever used, so I don't know nothing about anything else, to be honest with you.
What's simpler, Matt?
Nothing really. Well, the old school Garrett were pretty simple. But even I don't know. Even that Profine 35, that MindLab one, you still like that. Used to frustrate me when I first got that tube until I think maybe it's just getting used to it. Maybe I don't know. That could have been a lot of my issues too. But I don't know. It seems like with they jam a lot of features and settings into those things, but 90% of the time
I don't want that. I just want to turn it on and go like my Garrett Pro Pointer, my original. Now, what's there's two versions of the pinpointer out right now. Garrett has out. Is the less expensive one? Is that like the old one? Is that just to turn on and go, or is that you got to change that and stuff too?
I'm not sure. I think still though. I think even on the other version, it's still not as simple as some of the original, or not as like some of those original Garrett pinpointers when they came out were pretty straightforward. I mean, you didn't have many options to set things. I think there's still more settings and stuff.
There were no options. You turned it on, you turned it off.
Yeah, that was basically it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So what else, guys? Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about or bring up or discuss, Joey?
Yeah, I just want to say that I would be sleeping with the Rudis altar tonight in my hotel room.
Did you pay by the hour?
Did you hear him, Matt?
He probably did.
Something about
did you pay by the hour?
You know it. She makes some real pretty sounds at night.
Vibrating bed.
That's funny. Yeah, Matt, I don't know. It's hard to say what kind of place he'd stay at. Matt's a little shady. I don't know. The first time we met, he accidentally brushed up against my rear end. He said it was an accident, but I don't know. When we're out field hunting, I try to stay away from him. I don't put my back to him. He's one of them guys. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I like him. I'm just somebody.
You hit the button said "good game" doesn't mean anything, right? They do it in football.
Right.
He warned me all. He warned me all about him during the pre-show. I'll play.
Oh, that's funny. You guys ready to wrap it up, or we got more to talk about, or?
I see Tennessee Jeff is following us on the chat. I watched some of his videos on YouTube.
Oh, very cool. What's his YouTube? Is it Tennessee Jeff? I don't think I've seen him.
Yeah, Tennessee Jeff.
I'll have to check him out. Very cool.
Yeah, he's got a couple of them. He's a relic hunter also, I believe.
Nice. Guys, I don't. What else we got? I'm kind of out of it. I think I don't know where to go next. You got any cool stories we haven't talked about, or?
I can't think of anything. Kevin, if you're still listening, remind me of anything.
Yeah, Greg said the new one is Z-Link compatible. I like simplicity out of a pinpointer. I don't want to have to sit there. Like I said, that Pro Pointer, I've messed it up and had to go back through. I went to turn it off and held it too long. And, if you just push it, it doesn't turn off. And if you hold it too long, I'm not saying it's horrible by any stretch of the imagination, but, man, I still have the original Pro Pointer, but I hate using it. I mean, man, I've got a lot of years on that thing, and it's gotten a little flaky on me. It gets a little, it gets a little chatty at times and stuff. I've been saying it's on its last leg for a couple years. I can't believe it's even still going, but if I'd have known, I sure would have bought a bunch of those years ago. Held them back because those were my favorites. You still with us, Matt?
Nope, I quit.
You quit. All right, guys.
I'm still here.
I think we'll. Oh, what's he? Kevin said casino. What's Kevin talking about?
It's just one of my greatest permissions ever.
Tell us.
One guy was doing. He was doing a house flip, and he was doing a lot of remodeling and stuff. And I stopped and asked him if we can dig, and he said, "Sure, knock yourself out." And it was one of our greatest permissions ever, man. It was everything that year that we found that year came from that property. That was a great find. Oh man, bullets by the bucketfuls. Kevin found his first button there. We found Indian head pennies like y'all find up north by the bucketfuls. We finally found one out there. And I think it was like a 1901. And it was one of the dream locations for sure.
Right.
And he finally got tired of us and run us off from there. But it was we probably found 400 bullets out there.
Oh wow! And now, have you ever found any? Oh, go ahead.
We found cannonball fragments also, and it's not the small Borman, small 12-pound frags. They're 200-pound mortar shell frags.
Oh wow!
And they're the size of a dinner plate, and they're 3 inches thick. And they're fun digging. We dug a bunch of them there also, and it was just one of them things that one of them days, one of them permissions that we just never will forget. We call it the casino because it was bigger than a jackpot. It was the casino,
right?
And that's why we call it the casino here.
Now you guys find a lot of bullets, and I know there's some rare ones. Have you ever found anything super rare or super anything real special?
A friend of mine that we know together, me and Kevin, he found an Alabama sword belt plate that's worth about $20,000. Very,
wow.
very, very rare. Yeah, he dug it in a yard in downtown Mobile. And he said it sounded like a quarter. That's how deep it was. And he was using AT Pro also. And that's out of the guys we hunt with, that's probably one of the biggest valuable finds that's happened lately, or has ever happened. Really, I don't think I'll ever see one other than at the Smithsonian. Maybe they're rare, extremely rare.
Never know.
Yeah,
You're
right. You never know.
Yeah, that's why we do it, because we never know. You never know what you might find.
But I got big plans this year. I got big plans this year. I want to hit the water. I want to do water hunting this year.
Oh, that's cool.
That's something that we hadn't. That's something that we hadn't done. And I like to do water hunting this year. That's my big goal.
That's cool. Yeah. I'd love to do water hunting, but snakes creep me out. And here in Texas, they're poisonous. And Ohio still, man, I don't know, snakes. I hate that it keeps me from that. Gypsy that does the Monday night show I mentioned, she gets in the water a lot, and she does a lot along the river and in the rivers, and she's filmed them and everything else, and I'm just like, not my thing. And I know, they usually won't attack you and this and that. It really keeps me from some of that. But, it's something that's always kind of bothered me. I wish I could just get over that fear, but tough thing.
I don't like snakes either. when we go out in the woods, I usually let somebody go out ahead of me, run them off. I don't care much for them either, but they're thick down here also, and it's always something you gotta watch for sure.
Huh? Yeah.
And ticks is horrible here also.
Yeah, like them. I think one time I counted, I had 6 or 7 of them on me. Yeah. I went home, picked them off, got naked, picked them off, checked myself really good, triple checked, went and took a shower. I got in bed, was watching some TV. It was almost dark, and I seen something on my foot, and a tick come crawling out between my toes. God, I hate them ticks, man. Yeah. Bill Marsh sits in the chat. He got Lyme disease from a tick, and it still messes with him years later. You gotta watch them ticks. Gotta watch them
one
ticks.
One of the Lagunas off of Oak Island got Lyme disease. I was watching that the other day. Seen it.
Oh man. Huh. Yeah,
I had the same problem. The only tick I've ever had on me ended up, once I got him off, one of his teeth was still stuck in there, and then I ended up getting Lyme disease, had to go to the doctor, and had to get treated with antibiotics and stuff for, I don't know if it was 3 weeks or what it was, and the doctor was all impressed, and he says, he was all excited, and he goes, man, the Ring of Lyme, he's like, I've seen it in books, but I never actually got to see it in person. I'm like, well, I'm glad you're happy about it, because it's not so exciting to me, but yeah.
Bill's been dealing with it for years. He said it went on about 12 years.
Ticks hurt you, man.
Yeah, they're a mess. Yeah, and you'd think I'd be more scared of that than a snake, but no, it's the ticks. Man, them ticks freak me, or the snakes freak me out. But, I can deal with ticks. I don't like them on me and stuff, but I can deal with it. But I think I'm trying to follow the chat. And I was wondering what was going on. Tennessee Jeff, I don't know if he was listening to another podcast or what was going on, but he was in the wrong chat. I don't know if he was listening to an archive of ours or somebody else's or what was going on, but sorry about that, Jeff. Oh, the crazy things that happen around here sometimes. Yeah. If you didn't mean to listen to us, we're sorry, Jeff. I know me and Matt, especially Matt, I know he's a little boring. He gets on my nerves too.
I forgot more good stories than you ever had.
Mm-hmm. Bill said he'd rather had a copperhead bite. I got bit by a spider a couple months ago, man. It kept me from doing a lot of things for about a month. I ended up I got staph infection from it and stuff, had to have it cut out, and geez, man, that spider was bad. All bad. So, yeah, you definitely got to be careful out there. And I know over there in Mississippi and Alabama, where you got, I know you're in Alabama and Greg's in Mississippi, but you got to watch it over there. You guys got a little bit of everything like Texas does, don't you?
Yeah, man. Stuff here will kill you. It'll kill you.
Mm-hmm. Same here. We got it all. Well, you guys ready to wrap it up? Or
yeah, let's wrap.
I'm beat, man. I had a long day. These kids drive me crazy, and I had a ton of work to do, and I am spent, and I think I'm going to take a shower and relax. I might have to have a drink or two. Yeah, I might need a drink.
I'm drinking a Bud Light myself.
That's sissy beer. That's girl beer.
I am a sissy lala, so what do you expect?
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry. Greg said Cannonball in the backyard. Is that what was that story you already told us, or is he talking about another Cannonball?
That's another Cannonball. The 200-pound mortar shells, they're the size of a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's got one in his backyard, and he's got it all painted up. It looks like a yard decoration. But it's been there forever. It's right there at the base of a tree, and for the whole world to see. And it's a cannonball laying there.
Oh, wow.
Amazing stuff down here. All you got to do is get out and look.
Yeah, exactly. I tell people that you got to get out and look. You got to go out and find it and stuff. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I'm going to go shower and get a drink. Give me a drink.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all for having me. I enjoyed it.
Joey, we enjoyed it too. Thanks for coming on, and we really appreciate it. It was fun talking to you and hearing some of your cool stories, man. We appreciate it.
It was a blast. Thank y'all for having me.
Anytime. We'll have you again another time, too. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.